Oh, hello, I didn't see you there. How are you doing? Welcome along to British Brass Banding. Just having a nice cup of tea. I only drink my tea from a cup and saucer, just so you know, yeah. Welcome along to another episode of British Brass Banding with me, Andy. Really appreciate you being here. This channel is all about me, my journey as a bass trombonist, and just my general passion for brass banding in general. It's called British Brass Banding, but I do, where possible, see bands not just in Britain. I've seen some bands from abroad as well. And I'm just really trying to engage with the brass band community across the world. So if you've got anything that you'd like to share, by all means, drop me a message. You can find me on Instagram as well. And I'd love to hear from you. Right, so today's video is a bit of a product review. It's been a while since I've actually put a video out. So obviously my last video was pre-contest. We did our contest in March. We finished 5th overall, and I was personally quite happy with my own efforts. I didn't really make any major mistakes. 5th overall was a fair result. Unfortunately, we are going to be demoted down to 3rd section. So in the world of brass banding, there is contesting, and we are in like leagues, a little bit like football. But that's a video for another day. So today's video is a bit of a review, like I've just said. So recently I've been on the market for a audio recorder, as I do quite a bit of recording with the band at the minute, and I wanted to find a flexible recording option that doesn't break the bank and is suitable for recording a brass band. So I picked this up. So this is the Zoom H4e Essential. It's a recently released device, and its key feature it's got is 32-bit float. So the device itself is quite simple, it's quite small. It's got 2 capsule microphones on the top, XLR inputs on the bottom, easy to use interface, but the key feature is 32-bit float, and you're going to hear me talking about that quite a bit. So what is 32-bit float? So essentially, most audio recorders have audio gains. So this is a 4-channel, so it would have had 4 audio gains on it. And you are a little bit restricted, because if you set your gain and the band you're recording gets a little bit louder, you're at risk of peaking, and then you will suffer distortion. And with a band like a brass band, there's quite a high dynamic range, because occasionally we do go quite quiet, but quite often we are really loud. And my previous audio setup just could not handle the sheer amount of volume really that the band was producing. So when Zoom released this, I thought, right, that's perfect one. So essentially 32-bit float records twice at the same time. It records a lower level and a higher level, so it means you've got options in post-production, so you can pull the volume down if you're peaking, and because it's recorded that waveform at a slightly lower level, it means you're not going to get any audio loss. And if you're bringing things up, you can actually pull some of the audio from the higher waveform and increase the volume with no loss of quality. And that for me was a massive draw. So that's a brief overview. So let's have a little deep dive into a little bit more about the device. Okay, so here's a brief overview of the device. So here's the H4e Essential. As you can see, size comparison, it's quite a small unit. It is really light as well. On the top, we've got the X and Y microphones, capsule microphones. Just below is a screen. This isn't a touch screen, and these are the main buttons on the front of the unit. So we've got stop, play and pause, skip forward, skip back, and these are the microphone buttons, so to activate the additional microphones which you may have plugged in, and this one here is for the microphones on the top. So you can configure it how you want to record, so which microphones you may want turning on. So if we flip it onto its side, so we've got a line in, line out and headphone socket, volume setting, and that volume setting does actually affect the line out as well. Underneath this little cap here is where the SD card goes, and it takes up to 1 terabyte. Flip the device over, and we've got the toggle switch and the enter button. So that toggle switch is used to control all the main functions, and then enter to choose any of the options. The on off button there and here is where you would put the BTA1, which is the Bluetooth adapter. On the bottom of the unit is two standard XLR units, XLR sockets, sorry, and then the device does also offer phantom power as well. So the device is now powered on, and as you can see there is a live waveform there, so if I was to clap my hands, it is displaying the current volume levels actually live. Once you press record, the waveforms then turn red, which means it's actually in recording mode. And the great thing about working in 32-bit float means that there's no gains to set, so it's always recording two volume levels which are calculated in your post-production to ensure you've got nothing that peaks. It's a bit like taking a photograph in RAW mode, and it gives you lots of options in post-production. So we'll stop that recording, and as I said before, on the side of the device is the toggle switch, and this allows you to rotate through all the menus. So for example, you may want to go to the input, and you've got various options. You can turn your phantom power on, you can link your microphones together, and there's various options to go through, and everything is controlled using the toggle switch and the enter button on the side. Okay, so now that you've learned a little bit more about the device, I'm going to provide some audio examples of some recording that I've been doing. Obviously the device is quite new, so I've still got quite a bit to learn about how to get the most out of the device. However, here's a couple of audio examples. First up is just me doing a little small recording, which is something that went onto my Instagram channel. So the device was around 30 centimeters away from the bell of my trombone, pointing straight down the bell of the trombone. So let's hear what that sounds like. So as you can hear, the quality is pretty good, and that was using just the microphones actually installed on the device itself. In due course, I do want to try it with maybe a larger diaphragm microphone and see how the quality changes. But overall, I was pretty happy with the sound quality. There was a small bit of work in post-production, and that's an area that I still need to develop. So next up is a short recording from our band where we performed Be Still for the Presence of the Lord. And the microphone was fitted not fitted, sorry, it was actually behind the band, quite high up. I have tried to reduce the bass a little bit because it was a bit bass heavy. It's not the ideal location, but unfortunately I couldn't really get it anywhere else during that session. So let's listen to this one now. So as you can see, the audio is pretty good and it sounds quite nice. I have done a small amount of mixing, but that's an area that I still need to work on. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with the device. So cost-wise, you can pick these up on Amazon for about £190, which is pretty reasonable. It does take two AA batteries if you want to use it wirelessly, or you can put a USB power supply in there, which I would recommend, because I found when I was using it on battery power, it did go through the batteries pretty quickly, particularly because I was using phantom power as well. But overall, it's a nice handy tool. It's really small, pops in my case, so I can always take it with me. But for me, the biggest advantage is it's a recording device to have at home, so I can regularly record myself, hear how I sound, and try and make those little tweaks and the little marginal gains just to improve my quality of sound and really work towards that tone that I'm so desperate to find. So that's it for today. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. thank you to all my new subscribers recently. If you do like what you see, please hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. So my next video is going to be looking at sound protection, as I recently had some problems with my ears, and I've invested in some pretty budget friendly ear protection, so I'm going to be trying that out over the next week or so, and then I can do another product review. So until next time, thank you so much for watching again, and keep harping.